Hey everybody, welcome again to Vassal tutorial for Xwing, the miniature game, with your host, me, the Duke of Hobbies. Uh, we are doing part 2, which is all on actually playing Xwing on Vassal. So, what we're going to do here is, again, we're going to set up a game. We'll maybe even join a game. We'll import our list into one. And we will, I'm going to cover actually movement, combat, bombs, bumps, and, again, Vassal's gone a long way from where it first started, which was everything was manual. Now, almost everything is automated, which is great. So, yeah, we'll kind of go through a setup, not a full game, just kind of a brief overview. The main lesson for today, though, is if you're unsure on how to do something, right click. The right click is going to be your savior because it's going to open up all the options that object, whether it being a dial, whether it being a ship, or a rock, or anything, what all it actually is capable of doing in the module. So, first things first, let's go to our Vassal. So again, remember, we open it up, we have our module. What we're going to do is we're going to take our module and we're going to actually start it up again here. So this will take a little bit of time depending on how much it actually has to load. It might take a little bit longer for you than compared to me. Just again, things that it has to do. There we go. Mine defaults to my other screen. Okay, so hit OK, and we get to this menu. So you have three options in your play mode. You have select new game offline, look for a game online, load save game. I don't use the first and third one. You used to use the first one if you were going to create a list. This was easier rather than going online. Don't need to do that anymore. So really all you're going to need to do is look for a game online. When you look for a game online, you'll get two new menus. You'll get the server menu, and the other one is crashing on me. The Xwing Games Control menu. Okay. Before I continue, this is also I already have an account on here. It's not like I actually have to sign in or anything. You will probably have to create a profile real quick. Someone's messaging me. Well, thank you. I think so. You can actually message other players, but that's why you want to have your profile set up. If it doesn't pop up with that and it gives you a random profile name, it's pretty simple. You go to your Xwing Games Control menu, this one right here. And let me close this real quick. You are going to go to File, Preferences. Your Preferences menu will pop open. In there is Personal. You can change your name. If you do join the Xwing Vassal League, a lot of people tend to throw in this, what league they're in, or what division, what pod they're in. It helps just identify you so that if you, randomly you're online and you're playing against someone, I know he's probably going to be doing this, playing so-and-so right now. Okay, so that's the main menu. Not much you can do really here. Chatting, again, it's not really done in the main room. This is just where you're holding until you're ready to play. If you want to chat to someone, you can right click them and hit private message. You can also do show profile, but I really don't do that. If you see me on here, message me, see if I'm up for a game. Probably am. That's why I'm on here anyways, other than for today, which is to show you guys how to play. So there's two ways to actually play a game of Vassal on here. Play a game of Xwing on Vassal. You can either join a game or create a new game. I'm going to quickly show you how to join a room. You're going to right click the room that you want to join. Again, right clicking is key to everything. Or you can double click, but I'm going to join this room, which is actually the current Vassal tourney finale, championship game being played between Reinhardt and Spartan. So we'll join the room. You'll get this menu. Choose a side. You can pick solitaire, which you'll probably never pick, or players 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 through 8. Right now 1 and 2 are obviously being used. If you're joining someone else's game and you have no intentions of playing, please just select observer. That's all you need to do. You hit finish, and not much looks like happened, but truth, a lot has happened. So the server room, you can see that Spartan is the host. He's the bold one. Reinhardt joined that game. I joined that game. I'm in there as an observer, and I am gonna see like, oh look, again, not a lot happening. Well, it's not true. We actually have a whole set of stuff going on right now. So we got the map that's being built. We got player 1, who's Spartan, with his dials not completely unsealed, or not completely revealed, so we can see what his maneuvers are doing. We got Reinhardt's player 2 here's maneuvers, who are actually, his dials are actually not revealed. So if you're a player and you're player 1, you know, this is what it would look like if you started a new game. Like, you can't see your opponent's dials if they have them flipped properly. You have your dice. You got all the other different players, but this is my typical setup. This is a typical setup for Vassal, Xwing on Vassal. So, you know, they're chatting away in the server room. So you chat really in here, and the game will track everything in there. But we'll let these guys get back to the game here, because they got a pretty cool game coming up, which hopefully I'll be watching here soon. So again, so that's how you join a room. If you joined in as a player, that'll be in our next steps when it comes to creating the game. So let's get out of this one. So we're going to go back to the main room. I'm going to hit no. I don't want to save that. I'm going to create a new game. So if I'm going to create a new game, this is tutorial game 1. You know, you give it a name, or most people are the 2 people that are playing against each other. And then you type in the name and hit enter. You've immediately joined that room. I'm going to lock it so no one else can join us. And right now nothing is going on. If I hit map is not available, pieces are, the players are available, but nothing is there. The dice aren't going to do anything. You actually have to start a new game. So if you go to file, new game. Hey look, it's our old menu, choose a side menu coming up again. Now this time, if you're creating it, pick player 1. Or whatever player number you want. You pick the board that you're going to use. This is really cool, because before it had this one, it was a plain black one. Now you got a whole slew of different ones. We got the Pittsburgh Xwing one, Steel City Squadron, the Minoc one. There's some really cool neat maps. If you play Epic, there's an Epic mat. I don't play Epic, so I'm not going to cover that at all. But let's go to the Pittsburgh Xwing map. And we hit finish. Now the game has been officially created here. So, we can ignore that. That's actually tracking from before in the game controls. But we have our map now. I'm player 1. If my opponent joins, I hope they pick player 2. And then I have my dice. And now we're just playing a game of Xwing. You know, now that's all we're going to do. So, you know, when it comes to playing a game of Xwing, you have to import your list. So, I'm going to import a list. I use Raytheos's Yet Another Squad Builder 2.0. He's done a phenomenal job making the 2.0 version. You could still probably use the 1.0 version, but the gentleman who made that is not doing it anymore. So Raytheos took over. You know, great job again by him. You got to make an account on here, and you know, save your squads. And once you have a squad like this Rebel one I have put together, you hit save. I've even chosen obstacles, so we'll see if that works. It was before, now it's not. But you then take your whole link and you're going to copy it. So once you have a fully saved list in your profile, you copy your URL. Well, you then go to your player 1 or player 2, whatever player window that you're in, and you hit 2.0 squad spawn. pops you up with the auto spawn here. And we're doing method 1. There is a method 2. If you use other builders, you can, the community built file format is XWS. So like if you do it on your phone, you can get it and get it onto your computer somehow. There's multiple ways to do this, but I'll show you the URL method, which is the fastest. All you're doing is you're copying your YSB2 URL, and then you hit spawn squad from URL. This takes a little bit of time to load, so let's just give it a second here. There we go. Now I have my full squad. I'm going to open this up full screen so you can see here. So I got everything in there. Well, rocks are working, but it's multiples. So let's just get rid of it. So let's say it did this. This is probably what it will be in the future. Right now, rocks are a little weird, but it's nice. You can get your rocks. So I got my full list. I actually have Nora, I have Kyle, I have Arian, I have Garvin. I got my cards. Make sure they're visible so that everyone knows what you're using, so your opponent. Some people share the link to the list, like you can chat up here, so I just shared. If my opponent, they can just copy that link and then open it up themselves to double check that I'm matching my list like I say I am. But it should give you the basic tokens that you'll be needing for a game, the target locks, the dials, and the ships. What it doesn't provide you with is your damage deck. You're going to need to grab that real quick. So you go up to your game controls window, find the damage deck symbol, click it. It opens up this menu, and again, we're playing 2nd edition, so I'm going to open up my 2nd edition damage deck. Close that. Now I have all 33 2nd edition damage deck cards. Yeah, so that's how you import your list. Done. Got my list in there, all set up, all my cards. It's time to play a game. Now, again, we're gonna just go through the steps of playing a game of Xwing. We're gonna, figure out initiative, place the rocks. Well, a nice quick feature here is the 3x3 grid. So you got this outer rectangular area is range 1. This inner area is your range 2. So when you're placing rocks, everything has to be within range 2. Nice and simple. You just drag and drop your rocks where they need to be out on the board. Again, in the proper orders for Xwing. But you're going to be placing them, and say your opponent places a rock there, and you really want to place this big rock as close as possible. How do you know if you're within range 1 of it? Right click, your go-to one, and rangefinder option. Well, look, I'm placed it too close. I can't use this rock. It's not legally available right now. It has to be beyond range 1. So I'm going to take that. I can rotate it if I want to. So you see here, it's going to open up this 3 yellow circle, yellows for obstacles, rocks. If you're within range of it, so the higher intensity is range 1, the next level is 2, and the furthest faded away color is going to be 3. And that's going to be the same for all the other ranges too. So they're just varying different colors based on the ships and the object again. So now I'm like, yeah, that's good. That looks good. Awesome. Right click, or I could again hit Control L. I know all my shortcuts now. I've been playing for a while, so I use keyboard shortcuts. Makes things a lot easier. So I got that into place. Say that we're good. So we're done on the rocks. Next thing is getting your ships out on the board. So you can just take them, drag them, put them out on the board. You can rotate them. Again, right click if you actually really need to rotation. So you can do by rotate right 1, which is 1, we're talking 1 degree. Or you can do by 15, 90 degrees. It's out there. Everything is in place. But what we're going to do is actually get these ships set up for a specific scenario. Okay. We will say that Nora and Kyle actually are on the same team. There's this neat, if you face a mirror match, there's actually a way to distinguish yours from your opponent's. You could go in here, right click, and change the name of the ship if you really wanted to. It's somewhere, it's one of these options. Craft. Well, I thought it was in here. Might be like, I think it's just, nope. Okay, well, it looks like the names are set, which is kind of nice now, but either way. Or you can do this mirror match option, which is Control M, and set stats, there it is. Set pilot name. So Kyle, I can change that, and I can change it to be whatever I want. Oh, Nora, we'll say it's Tora for some reason. So look, I'm a little different, but it's supposed to be Nora. But either way, the point is you can alter these stats, change these numbers, let people know, you know, this is my ship, not my opponent's. Excuse me. So, as you're playing, of course, a game, you're going to do, again, set your maneuver dials. You don't want your opponent to see what your movement dials are, so you're going to have to hide them, which is either right-click and hit Control R or reveal, which will just kind of flip them. So I'm flipping them, and this work in progress symbol that actually is popped up over top of my my dial is meaning that actually it's hidden right now. Like in the Reinhardt, in that game that we joined, you actually see the back of the dial. You'll see your opponent's back of the dial, which is nice. If you want to change your dial, you can again right click, you can select a move, and you rotate either to the right or the left, or you can, this is fastest one, period or comma. So I'm changing my dial. Now, the only legally time you can change your dial is if it's in your player window. If you take your dials out, you have them hidden, and you start changing your dial, it's going to pop up on here that you altered the course of the movement dial on the table, meaning you cheated or hit it by accident. I don't know. Most people just hit it by accident. But that's why, so we're going to be, I'm changing my dial here, which would be illegal. So let's say I changed it properly. I take the dials out here, I change them, I flip, let's say Garvin goes first, and I flip and nothing happens. That's right, nothing's going to happen other than it informs your opponent officially that you revealed the maneuver of your choice. So if it was a 3 forward or a 4K, your opponent will see it here up in the games control window, the chat dialog window. Nothing is happening. You have to manually input the maneuver yourself into the ship. So you select your ship with a quick left click, and Garvin did a 3 straight. So I'm going to move a 3 straight. To do these movements, you're going to use either the shortcut keys or again right click. So right click, very helpful, but I learned the shortcut keys. So you can go to template move if you do the right click, and you'll have all the straight maneuvers, all the banks, all the hards, or the K turns. Okay. The shortcut keys for that straight maneuver is shift and a number. Bank to the left or bank to the right is control and a number or alt and a number, respectively. So control 1 is going to do a bank 1 to the left. And if I'm going to, I wanted to do a hard maneuver here with Kyle, 1 to the right for some whatever reason, or 2 to the right, I do control or alt shift 2, and the game's just loading here. Sometimes there's some server issues. There we go. Look, I did my 2 hard to the right, and you see. So you reveal your maneuver, and when you perform the maneuver, if it doesn't match, you're not doing what your dial said to do. So, your opponent will get officially logged what you did or didn't do. These logs are important, and I'll show late at the end, because if you play in official tournaments, you're going to have to create a saved one and then upload those ones. Alright, So that's the basics of movement. Again, if you want to like Talon roll, right click, they have their own shortcut keys. You pick that. Right now, it doesn't just pick the 2 to 3 maneuvers, so this is one of the few manual ones you have to do. You can use shift arrow keys on this if you select to kind of move to fine tune it. But hopefully that's going to be a future update where you can just pick 1, 2, or 3, whatever the options are. This movement track comes out. You can then hit Control D or right click again to delete it. But we'll say I accidentally did the wrong maneuver. Okay, say, oh, I did a 2 Talon roll with an Xwing. They can't do that. That's right, they can't. So we start hitting the undo button. And the undo button here in the game's controls menu will eventually, again, all those little fine-tuned movements that I did with Garvin are going to reset, and boom. And it sees all that's been undone too. So up here you can see that I undid the 2 Talon maneuver. Officially logged that I made a mistake when I did it. Okay, so that is movement. That's how to undo anything. Also be careful when it comes to undo. If your opponent is moving like their dial or token around, it's gonna first undo those first. So tell them to please hold on and then undo your movement. Okay, so we'll get into combat real quick. So Garvin is shooting at Arian. What range is that? Or he's going to shoot at Nora. What range is that in? The shortcut key again is Control Shift F. And this is neat. This method doesn't show the firing arc at all. All it's going to show is exactly the ranges and if it's obstructed or and what corner it's going to, and it officially logs it too, so your opponent can see it without actually having to be looking at the map for whatever reason. So up here, Arian is at range 1 of Garvin. Nora, or as I put Tora, is at range 2 and it's obstructed. So we'd be rolling our dice based on that. And to get rid of that, again, you just use the shortcut key of Control Shift F. That gets rid of it. Or say, some people, you say Garvin was actually got a target lock real quick. You hit Control L, just like with the rocks. Now everything that's in range of him is target lockable. So, or for some reason you can only check to see, you're just checking to see arc, but you don't want to really measure range yet. Some people like to do this to just as a double check. Control F will just put the arc, forward arc only out there. If you have a mobile arc, which you can actually turn the mobile arc with the right click, you can go to arcs here, right click. Let's look at, well, we could look at bullseye arc. Doesn't look like we have anyone in bullseye arc, obviously. We can toggle the bullseye arc, so Kyle's bullseye arc is over there. And the auxiliary arc, which that one's who uses auxiliary arcs? I'm trying to remember. Single turret options. There we go. That's cool. No ships in range there. Well, that's because I think it's actually supposed to be. Yeah, Kyle's is Control Shift. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of different ways. Again, just right click if you're not sure. Show firing arcs, show the mobile turret arc. There we go. Sorry, took me a little while to find that one. But yeah, so there we go. So now I'm showing my arc there. I'm showing a lot of information actually that we can close out of here. We just want to get rid of, so get rid of that, and also show firing arcs. Hold on. Okay. Yeah. Control Alt. There we go. All right. Very good. Okay. So, again, those are all of our arcs here. That is combat. hey, we got to roll some dice. That's what we're doing. We're here to play X-Wing. We're here to roll dice. So Garvin gets his range 1 at Arian. So we declared that. I'm going to tell my opponent. Typically the order of phrasing is going to be like, well, Garvin, type it in, Garvin into, versus Arian. That will be a range 1, 4v2. And my opponent was like, yep, or no, or yeah, and, just double checking. Some people will say something, and then you take your dice, and you can, again, right click, roll 4 dice. If you have any modifications, there's some quick keys here, so you can spend a focus, click that, and it'll automatically change all your eyeballs into hits. If you want to re-roll, you can click multiple dice with the left click and shift. So say, like, I'm just going to set this to blank. I had a target lock. I'm going to right click, re-roll, and it'll re-roll both of them. It actually tracks which all dice are being rolled at that time. So on a re-roll, it says specifically attack die 3 and attack die 2 were both re-rolled, and what the original and what the new results are too. And then same thing with evade dice. It's the exact same method. So Garvin or Arian rolls. Oh, he's going to take a 2 hits here. Unless he had a focus token, which would be, an automatic. Oh, he only taken 1 damage. Dealing out damage is pretty simple. You can change your shield's values. So you see you got the initiative value in the top left corner, and then your shield and hull values in the top right of the ship. So all you need to do then is you can change it. Is crafts. What is it? It's one of these options here. Set stats. There we go. So you can change the initiative value, the hull value, the charge value, the force value, so you can kind of show your opponent how much you have and what you don't have. So some people will, do this directly here too, which is great because it's a good reminder. So, oh, I lost a shield here with Arian. The shortcut key is going to be Control-Alt-S for that. Hull is Control-Alt-H to decrease hull. Say I go to 0, again, nothing has happened. You're going to manually do that. If you're adding values to these stats, it's just Alt and like SH for shield and hull respectively. Or now that you've taken hull damage, you actually have to pull the cards. So you just go to your deck, grab a card, one at a time. And the typical way of doing it is you bring it out onto the table. So say I did let's cancel this one die. Say I did take a crit, a hit and a crit. I would bring out the hit card, and then I'd bring out the next card, and I flip it with a Control F. Control F flips just about everything, all the cards, and it actually shows up in the dialog box what critical card I flipped, so your opponent knows right away too. This is new, actually having the text on there, which is really nice. And so I got loose stabilizer. Well, I don't want to forget that. Right click, I pull out the token that says loose stabilizer, critical token that says loose stabilizer. But Arian would be dead, so it doesn't really matter. And then you take your cards and you put them next to the ship in your player. So Arian, we'll move him over to here, and then boom, he got his 2 damage cards. So poor Arian. So that's just basically going through combat. I'll do actions now. I did this a little out of order. You do your movement, you do your action. I like to use the tokens so everyone can visibly see it. There are other ways to do it, which is, again, actually right click, action, cycle through them. I don't like it that way. I like doing it this way. It's a little easier. I bring out my stress. I bring out all my tokens and stuff here. You know, Garvin target locked. Again, if you want to change the name of your target lock so that it's unique to yours, you can actually flip your target locks too, I think. Switch color, so blue or red. So that's what I like to do. If you got Ioned and you know over in your player options, well, you don't have the Ion token, or you need something. Everything to put something on the board is actually in this menu option in the game controls called Pieces. You open up to this menu. So there's Epic for 1.0, Chits, which is the different tokens here. So if you decide, well, I would rather have this rock, again, you're just going to drag and drop out into either your player area or the map. There's a ton of stuff here, so all the new tokens. You can get the range rulers, collision tracks if you don't want it to automatically do it for you. They have a bunch of stuff in here. So check this area out. Pretty much take a look at it, and it'll be able to describe. You know, you'll be able to find whatever you're looking for. Ooh, having some loading issues. It looks like. Okay, but that's going to be pretty much, that's weird, never seen that before. That's going to be pretty much it for actions and tokens and stuff. Everyone has different ways of doing that. I'll do a quick bomb one. Oh, barrels. Right click and pick the barrel. It'll actually let you know if you can't. If you can't, you can just hit undo it. Let's do bombs here real quick. So right click, place the bomb spawner, and then you can pick, you can pick the different ones, or then pick the actual. So seismic is the typical, or for some reason, let's say the Y-wing can throw it forward. 5 forward, change the template first, and then select the bomb. So drop bomb, cluster mines. Ooh, it overlapped. Let us know that I hit Kyle with it. So we activate it, I would delete it, and then follow the rules for the collision. So, and it's logged too. So again, everything's going to get logged. And that's purposes for tournament play and just making sure something crashed. If it crashes or otherwise, you can save it and reload it. If you're playing online against someone, that you're going to have to create a new begin a log file. Open this up, and that's just the entire text, and it'll get you back to where you currently are and allows you to step through. I'm not going to really cover that, but that's what you would save and then report in an online tournament. You can also save the game. Sometimes I've done that. It doesn't work all that well personally, but I don't use that much. So again, not that crazy for that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's gonna pretty much do it here for the Vassal tutorial. It's a lot of stuff, but again, it's important if you want to play the game. You just know your X-Wing rules. Just follow the rules of X-Wing and right click. Just right click it out there. And then slowly learn your shortcut keys. It'll make the games go a lot faster. And you'll, it's going to be a little bit challenging at first because you got to kind of relearn movement. I played the whole game looking like this. So I play zoomed out. I don't know why, that's just how I play it. But I can know, like I'm looking at this and I'm like, well, Kyle, if I do it too hard, we'll probably run into that rock. Yep, I was right. So I better not do that. So it's just going to take some time. Get used to dragging your dials on and off, and then always making sure that they are all either revealed or not revealed, so that you don't play a whole game with your dials revealed and your opponent outsmarting you and you're like, how did he know that? That's because he saw and didn't tell me. Not important. But okay, yeah, so that's gonna be pretty much it. Some common phrases to let your opponent know that you've done something. You say set, so you're just gonna type it up here, set. Or now there's actually in the player menu a new feature, which is say set. I just wish it was a different color rather than matching everything else. But that's just me and being picky. But yeah, again, all this is available on Muons, and I'll put the link again, the tutorial on how to play Xwing in the description below. You know, I'll be on here. If you have any questions, message me, let me know. You know, if you want to play a game, message me on Vassal, or message me here on, I think I'm going to upload this on YouTube. So, yeah. Thanks for watching.